Patterns Changed by AI Part 6. In this lesson, we will talk about the 3 to 4-point high approach, attach, and pull back pattern. After the 3 to 4-point high approach, the attach and pull back pattern is probably the most popular pattern choice, without a doubt. Even today, in the era of AI patterns, when the 3 to 4 point faces a one-space high approach, attaching and pulling back remains the optimal choice. Next, white traditionally has two human-style pattern choices. One is the solid connection, and the other is the tiger's mouth in traditional human patterns. Choosing the tiger's mouth was even more common than the solid connection. However, since the arrival of the AI pattern era, this tiger's mouth move has been gradually abandoned by AI. And the solid connection is clearly more popular. When playing this local shape, players basically use the solid connection instead of the tiger's mouth. Let's take a look at why the tiger's mouth move is gradually being phased out, and why the solid connection is chosen much more often. The biggest difference here is that AI believes after a solid connection, black basically needs to add a move to fix. Whereas after a tiger's mouth, black's first choice is often to play elsewhere. Here, let's first look at the variation for white's solid connection. After white connects solidly, why does black need to make a one-space extension? Let's assume black plays elsewhere and makes a 3 to 3-point invasion in the lower right corner. Next, to punish black for playing elsewhere, white will play the attachment followed by a double hang. This move is exactly the new variation brought to us by AI. Previously, humans playing this local shape would usually play the angle wedge, resulting in a shape like this. Of course, looking with AI, black playing the tiger's mouth is slightly better than the solid connection. After it plays out like this, AI believes white does not gain any advantage here, and even considers that black keeping Senti can be satisfied with this result. Therefore, for this move, AI believes white should play the double hang. After white plays the double hang, first of all, this cut and Atari by black does not work. White can capture in the corner, so black can only Atari from above, emphasizing moving out here. Then, white continuing with the knight's move is a great move. If black wants to move out with a simple attachment, white can then choose to jump or choose a 3-space extension. Generally speaking, if there is a black stone on the right side in the upper right corner, the 3-space extension is more common. If the upper right corner is white, then the jump is more common. Okay, after white completes the extension, this local area or this pattern can be considered mostly settled. Next, black will likely continue playing at the bottom to disturb white's shape. AI considers this sequence to be white's proper punishment against black after black chooses to play elsewhere. What needs to be explained here is that for black, this push and cut simply does not work. White can counterattack on the second line. If black now chooses to just let it go, white makes a solid extension in the corner to make living stones. We can see that this variation will lead to a chaotic fight. But from the perspective of territory, it is clearly better for white. Therefore, black playing Atari at this position to seek simplicity does not gain any advantage. If black blocks in the corner, white will Atari again forming a battle for life. Let's look at the result of this battle for life. Okay, playing up to here is inevitable. Black can only cut, and white plays. Atari then cross. We can see that these 4 black stones only have 3 liberties. So if black wants to win the battle for life, it must reduce white's external liberties. Okay, then black plays cut and Atari here to make a final struggle. But playing up to here, we see that black is already short of 1 liberty in the battle for life. Therefore, black's direct push and cut in this local area does not work. Okay, when played to this point, black will roughly continue playing around this area or this area at the bottom. For white, this result is clearly better than attaching and making a solid extension. So please remember here, if white connects and black plays elsewhere, white's attachment followed by a double hang is the way to punish black for playing elsewhere. Okay, let's look again. If white chooses the tiger's mouth at this time, as we mentioned earlier, playing the tiger's mouth is now quite rare. If white plays the tiger's mouth here, black can comfortably play elsewhere. When white attaches downward, as long as black plays hang on the second line to create this variation, AI believes black can be satisfied. Actually, this local shape is also different from how humans used to play it. When white played the tiger's mouth, humans in the past also chose to play elsewhere. But when white attached downward, humans usually played a clump here and an Atari. Then a solid extension or hang and connect. I should say hang and connect was more common. But AI believes this variation is clearly better for white. White now calmly protects with a tiger's mouth against black. If black makes a solid extension, white just blocks. This fight is favorable for white. So here, AI believes black just calmly playing hang on the second line is enough. The biggest difference between the tiger's mouth and the solid connection is that the double hang no longer works here. Black just needs to calmly Atari, then clamp to move out. White has no way to continue sealing from the outside. So this simple variation is quite satisfactory for black. There is also an old human way of playing, which is white playing a knight's move on the 4th line. In the past, when black played elsewhere, white's 4th line knight's move was a way to fight for sente. If black follows with a knight's move, white gets sente. If black plays elsewhere, white can choose a sente knight's move or a goatee jump at the bottom to threaten black's corner. But AI also tells us that the new choice is, when white plays the knight's move on the 4th line, black immediately clamps and moves out, then plays an Atari. What is interesting here is that humans' understanding of this shape was that black doesn't gain any advantage. White just needs to play a turning Atari on the outside, forcing black into a dumpling shape. But actually, AI believes this variation is highly profitable and good for black. Next, black just plays a knight's move on the second line. For this variation, humans usually understood it as an inside-outside exchange, where black suffers a loss. But AI believes that after black captures, securing a capture on the 3rd line and having the threat of a cut on the outside, or rather the aji of a cut AI believes this variation is advantageous for black. So, AI believes when playing Atari here, white should solidly connect, and then black plays a knight's move. Then, white can choose a diagonal move or fix with a knight's move on top. This variation is still quite satisfactory for black. So, let us make a final summary here. That is for the 3 to 4-point one-space jump approach. Or rather, after the 3 to 4-point high approach, attach and pull back, this tiger's mouth move is being used less and less, because after playing the tiger's mouth, black's first choice is to play elsewhere. Whereas if white connects solidly, black generally needs to fix the shape immediately. White can now gain center and play in other positions on the board. Okay, that is all for this lesson.